Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you today. Let's get right into this one. All right, yeah, Joey Aguilar and Steve Angeli have been named starters for their respective teams. Also, Savion Hiter is going to be making his choice within 24 hours. So we got a lot in this show. Let's not waste any time. All right, as of last night, Josh Heupel has named Joey Aguilar QB1. We kind of knew this was coming. I was between 80 and 90% that he would start. You know, he's a fifth-year senior. He's got a ton of experience. The things that I've been hearing from scrimmages and practice is that he was, taking over as far as the lead for QB1. Jake Merklinger, who would be a redshirt freshman this year, hasn't really played any serious ball yet. And then, of course, George McIntyre, this is his first year. He's a true freshman. So the odds of them beating out Joey were pretty slim. Now, obviously, besides the experience, Joey has a really live arm, and he has a ton of confidence. He doesn't care to throw it into tight spaces. Sometimes that gets him in trouble. Sometimes it leads to a ton of touchdowns, which he's had a bunch of, and a lot of yardage. He also likes to run the ball. He is not a super slick runner, but he's solid. And that will be a problem for Syracuse in the first game because if something's not open, he doesn't have a problem taking off. They also will probably have plays where he's set up to run. And this is earlier than I expected. Josh Heupel usually, he waits the last minute. He doesn't want to show any cards to the opposition. He wants them to try to prepare for multiple quarterbacks. And I was thinking he'd push it all the way to the last week, which he has not done. You know, we're 12 days away, and now they know they're going up against Joey Aguilar. Now, on the other side of this, you've got Syracuse. Well, they've already named Steve Angeli as their QB1. That surprises me because their number 2 is Ricky Collins. Ricky is a running quarterback, whereas Angeli is very much a pocket passer. So I would not have listed him as QB1 until the very last minute. I would have wanted Heupel's defense preparing for both quarterbacks. And we may see Ricky Collins in this if Angeli doesn't get off to a good start. Because here's the thing that if I'm Syracuse, I'm concerned about the most. Those edge rushers for Tennessee and that front 7 are going to come after Angeli like you cannot believe. And Angeli is not a runner. Don't get it confused. In his 2 years at Notre Dame, he's played in some ball games. He's got a pretty good completion rate of a little over 70%. Thrown for 772 yards. But as you can see, he will run, but only 36 yards. So he is not going to take off at all. Now, I'm sure he can scramble to some level because, you can see he did run some. But he's not somebody you fear. So, again, I think that's an advantage for Tennessee to know, okay, we're going to be dealing with a pocket passer. So we can really pin our ears back and go after this guy. And you really don't want Tennessee to do that.
But what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
And at the end of this, I'm going to give you some inside information that I've heard from one of my insiders that's given me some pretty good info about Tennessee, their current situation, and some other things that you're going to find super interesting. And the ball game, which is obviously August 30th, and it's a noon ball game, which I'm not thrilled about. The line has come down from 14.5 down to 14, so not very much at all, just kind of staying around that 2 touchdowns. I gave you a prediction of the ball game and ran through all the reasons why I think Tennessee should win this ball game. Now, Syracuse is coming off 10 wins last year. Now, they don't have Kyle McCord, who absolutely lit it up last year for the Orangemen. He threw for over 4,000 yards. He was the number 2 quarterback in the country as far as yardage and stats. And they also had some very good wide receivers. So they've lost all of that. And their defense was ranked 72nd, I believe, last year, and Tennessee's was ranked 6th. So there's a big advantage on defense. And because Syracuse offense, I expect to come down with the loss of Kyle McCord, they're going to have a tough time scoring points. The big question is, can Joey march the Vols down the field and score plenty of points like you normally would expect with the Josh Heupel offense? If he will make quick decisions and get the ball out of his hands, that absolutely will happen. And I hope they go fast. I am tired of waiting for a quarterback to look to the sidelines. Look to the sideline. Just go like Hendon Hooker did.
Let's go while we're young.
Do you mind, sir, trying to tee off?
So hopefully with Joey, we'll have that because this guy's played a ton of ball. and I think he's capable of making quick decisions. As far as Steve Angeli, buddy, you better put that chin strap on real tight, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to get hit probably multiple times. Get the ball out of your hands quick, because I can tell you right now, they're going to come for you.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
And they're going to come around that edge like you cannot believe. It's going to be speed, speed, speed. And I honestly don't feel good about your tackles being able to control our edge. I just don't. And you're probably going to really struggle running the ball, so you're going to have to throw it. Tennessee is great at stopping the run. That front seven is brutal, and they bring fresh bodies in every chance they can. And there's not a big talent gap between the starter and the backup at Tennessee. That is the strength of Tennessee's team, is that front seven. So this should be a very exciting game for Tennessee and for Syracuse to see how they are after Kyle McCord, and then to see how Tennessee does now that Nico's gone to UCLA and Joey has come in to replace, and that whole wild situation. That could not have been a more crazy month or two when Nico pulled that whole stunt. But we're less than 2 weeks away, folks, and now we know the starters. Now let's talk about Savion Hiter. He's going to be making a decision within 24 hours. 5-star running back, #1 RB in the country, and it's down to 4 teams, one of which is Tennessee. You've got Michigan, Ohio State, and Georgia. Those are your 4 big dogs that are trying to get this guy. Now, I'm going to show you some of the highlights. You've probably seen some. This guy is a dog out there, man. I mean, he is a tough dude to bring down, and there's a reason why he's the #1 running back in the country. There's also something that concerns me that might be a red flag, and I'm going to talk to you about that at the end of this. But let's take a look at some of his highlights that are just off the chain. And look at these stats. I mean, they're just absurd. 1,900 yards. And he just makes these guys look foolish. Zip. Nope. Go down to the floor there. There you go. Okay. Whoop, whoop. No, you can't touch me. Good grief. What did he break? 4 tackles there? Let's watch another one here. Okay. Oh, my gosh. Look at that speed. Speed, speed, speed. Yeah, he gone. Yeah. All right, another one here. See what he does. I'm sure it's fantastic. High school, this guy, yeah, has great cutting ability. Here goes the speed. Jeez, that's great speed for a big dude. Now, of course, these are highlights, and it's high school. They always make the other team look terrible. But this guy's the real deal Holyfield. Believe that. The question is, who's he going to pick? And now I'm going to talk to you about the red flag that might be there. And the reason I'm going to do it, normally I wouldn't do this, but because we just went through the Nico Iamaleava fiasco, and we've had the whole Boo Carter thing, which has been a pain in the butt, I'm going to talk to you about Savion Hiter, who might be a really good dude. I don't know. But his setup for this decision tomorrow is a little bit offbeat. And it's how he's going to make this decision and how you're able to ask him questions. It says a different approach is what Zach Reagan's using, which is a very kind way to put it. Now, he's going to decide at 11:15. It's going to be on YouTube. Rivals is going to have it. So you can actually watch the live with your own eyes. 11:15. And that's Eastern Standard Time, because I always get that question. We're late. That's what's been reported. Now, one negative, which has nothing to do with a red flag, he's considered a lean by Steve Wiltfong to Michigan.
It's got to be America's team.
But nobody's really picked one way or the other, so it's very much up in the air. Wiltfong said, I'd lean Michigan going in the announcement, but he's not sure. Here's his unique plan for his commitment announcement. It says, Hiter will only be answering pre-screened questions after his announcement, which is it's very different than most people. It says, in speaking with a county official, it will be a controlled environment in which reporters will not be able to directly ask Hiter questions. Instead, reporters are being told to submit their questions in advance. Those questions will then be vetted, and a county administrator will read selected questions to Hiter, who will then provide his answers.
It's good to be the king.
There will also be no interviews on the side after the formal announcement is finished, a county official said. And most people think it's between Tennessee and Michigan. I'm going to go ahead and tell you that's a very odd way for a 17, 18-year-old kid to act, that the questions have to be brought in advance. Then they're going to vet those questions, make sure they're okay, and then he will answer the ones that he's picked. That could be a red flag. That could be being a little bit prima donna-ish, or it could be that he just wants things structured and he doesn't want to say anything out of line. It could be one or the other. If it's one of, hey, you know, I'm the number one RB, I don't want to put anything out there to tick off the other teams that I didn't pick. If it's that reason, then it's a good decision. If it's, hey, I'm the RB1, you know, I'm kind of the king, you can present your questions and we'll vet them, and then I'll decide what I want to answer. If it's that, you're going to have, look, it's estimated that he's going to make between $600,000 and $800,000 his first year as a freshman. And for that kind of money, he's going to have to play. And he's not the quarterback, so he's not the face of your organization or your team, but he's a very important person. And if he's standoffish and hard to deal with, do you really want to put that kind of money in there? So, like I said, it may be for very good reasons that he's doing it that way and he just doesn't want to upset people, or maybe it's a overconfidence issue. Anyway, is it a red flag? Is it not? I've told you folks, because of Nico, because of the Boo thing, I'm going to let you know. If I see something that, you know, that red flag pops up, I'm going to let you know about it. That way you can kind of, you know, regardless of what he decides, if he picks Tennessee, great, good. You know, hopefully it's the better reason. If it's another team, then you can at least rest your concerns and go, well, maybe we dodged a bullet. You know, maybe this guy's hard to deal with. Look, it's 2025. These kids are professional athletes, and can you imagine making $600,000, $800,000 your first year as a running back? That can get in your head. So, I don't know. But anyway, I told you I'm going to bring this stuff up if I see something that bothers me a little bit. All right, lastly, I want to give you information from an insider. My insider contacted me and let me know this, and I'm going to read you what he told me. He said, I went to the scrimmage today. He said, Vols should be pretty solid. Defense may be better than last year. I've been hearing that. That's not the first time. Offense looks like it has some new wrinkles, shifts, 2-back sets, 2 and 3 tight end sets. That doesn't surprise me because they do seem to be having some wide receiver issues. We're going to get into that a little later here. Aguilar is far and away the number one. This was before they named him number one. It says Merck, after his first series, didn't look too good. Said McIntyre looked like the game was too fast for him right now. He's a freshman. It would be very surprising if it was the opposite. O-line looks much better and more physical. Says we have a stable of running backs. The best thing, though, was what I saw after the scrimmage. Someone made a $35 million donation to the program. Jeez. Said this is on top of the $20 million that Tennessee's going to be getting from the Adidas deal starting next year, which, you know, they signed that 10-year monster deal. And Tennessee is going to be the flagship program for Adidas. They signed them to a crazy NIL deal.
Oh, this is going to get damn ugly right here.
It's estimated at $20 million. We don't know. They're not going to tell you what it is because then people could use that for negotiating. Oh, and also they said Brame, who is a big-time tight end, he was a top 100 guy, freshman, said he is a cheat code in the slot. And this guy's 6'4", 230. You might see some of these big guys, these super fast tight ends that we've got in the slot, which that's a mismatch nightmare for the defense.
Oh, hell no!
Because if they got a defensive back on him, yeah, you got a guy that's quick enough to stay with him, no problem. But at 6'4", 230, and you got some 5'10", 190 guy on him, that's a very difficult cover. He cuts across, catches that ball. Next thing you know, he's dragging that guy 20 yards down the field. You folks remember Brock Bowers? So anyway, I thought that was interesting as well. We may see these tight ends because that's kind of the strength of the receiver group, even though Tennessee does have 7 wide receivers, 6 4-stars, and then 1 5-star in Mike Matthews. You might see those tight ends get used quite a bit. Anyway, I just thought that was a very interesting insider information. I didn't know about the $35 million, that's for sure. Anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover all these big college sports stories. Again, Savion Hiter, 11:15. If you've not subscribed, boom, 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 hit that button right there. It won't cost you a dime. And right over here is the most recent video YouTube. Thanks, you'll enjoy. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.